Namaste everyone. Today is Natural Cooling Group 37th webinar and the topic is Introduction to Vedas, Puranas, Itihas and Granthas, the holy books by Dr. Dhananjay Dongreji. And today this series 2 webinar, and today we are explicitly exclusively discussing on the Puranas. Dhananjay, over to you.
Yeah. Namaskar to everyone, my brothers and sisters. We have been always told that this knowledge of our religion, say Puranas or Vedas, are all some 5,000 years old only. I was wondering whether this is true or not. If so, how much is it true? And if not, how much is it false? And what could be the reasons? Let us try to understand the counting of the years as we do in our country. Surya, sun going from one Rashi to other, is the Saura Mas, or that is the month according to the solar calendar. 12 Saura Mas make one Saur year. And now the real problem starts. People have been saying that Bhagavan Krishna left this Prithvi Tala about 5,000 years back. So they consider as if all the religious literature is from that time only, which is not the case. Now let us see what our Shastras themselves tell us. The Puranas themselves count like this. Everyone is aware that we are living in the Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga extends for 4,32,000 years of solar year. 4,32,000. Dwapar Yuga, at the end of which Bhagavan Krishna left Prithvi Tala, that Dwapar Yuga time period is 8,64,000 years. Before that was the Treta Yuga, in which Bhagavan Ram took his avatar. That Treta Yuga period is 12,96,000 years. And before that it was Satya Yuga, and the period of Satya Yuga is 17,28,000 years. If you count, add all these, it makes a total of 43,20,000 years. Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga and Satya Yuga added together mean 43,20,000 years. Now this 5,000 years ago, these Puranas were written, these Vedas were, you can say, received or whatever. Now, do you come anywhere near this calculation of 43,20,000 years? Our beliefs and our scriptures tell us that Vedas have existed in all these yugas, whether it is Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga or Satya Yuga. So where is the question of 5,000 years? Secondly, we say that these 4 yuga are constituting one Chatur Yugi. Now we are entering into even more intricate calculations. This 43,20,000 years calculation is equal to 12,000 Divya Varshas. Now, what is Divya Varsha? As I say, we have to look at this. One Saura year is one day and night of Dev. Uttarayan is day and Dakshinayan night is night of Devas. So in this way, if we calculate 12,000 Divya Varshas are equal to how many years of ours? 43 lakhs 20,000 years. Now, when we are talking of these many years, how do we really understand how much is the lifespan of a human being? The Puranas tell us that the lifespan of a human being in Kali Yuga is average 100 years. In Dwapar, it is 200 years. In Treta Yuga, it is 300 years. And in Satya Yuga, it is 400 years. Now, we also are told that Kali Yuga is something which is showing what we are experiencing today. Corruption, nobody listens to the other, how the government behaves, all these things, it is worth knowing and trying to understand whether the language which our ministers speak today has any relevance to this Kali Yuga. You must have heard that Parikshita was the grandson of Arjuna. Parikshita was in the womb of his mother Uttara when Ashwathama sent his Divya Astra for killing him while he was in the womb. Bhagavan Krishna saved him, and he has seen Bhagavan while he was in the womb of the mother, because Bhagavan Krishna entered the womb and protected him from the Divyastra. Now this Parikshita understood that now when he grew up, he was made the king. He met Kali Yuga and says, because you are living in the body of the Rajas, what has increased? Lobha, greed. Then what else when you are lobhi or greedy? What increases? Falsehood. Chori. The thieves are in plenty. Dushtata, cruelty. Swadharma tyaga, forsaking our swadharma. Daridrata, people become absolutely poor in all the sense of the term. Kapat, they become very shrewd and disguise their real motives and act in a way that is very, very unbecoming. Then there are kalaha, or the fights. Dambha, people pretend, and all these kinds of sins are increasing. Kali Yuga got afraid that Parikshita might kill him. He fell at his feet at the feet of Parikshita. When Parikshita gave him few places to stay, to live. See, this is one way in which our Shastras tell us very many principles. Where this Kali Yuga will be, first point is Dyuta, wherever there is gambling. Madhyapana, wherever there is alcohol and the like. Stri Sangha. Here what does it mean, Stri Sangha? Sangha means to be affected by them. It is generally believed that the women are less educated, men are better educated and have more experience of this life as it is. So it is many a times assumed that women have a narrower vision. What is forgotten is that they are the ones who give you birth, and they are the ones who teach you how to be a good human being. If they were bad, they have done these things? No. But that means what is said here is something little different. What is meant is that Sangha means to get affected, as I said. Mostly it is taken in the sense of bad things. Sat Sangha is a very common word and is very much appreciated. What we are doing right now is nothing but Sat Sangha. So here when we are talking of Stri Sangha, we are meaning thereby the way people behave with the ladies in the relations outside their marriage. Then himsa. Himsa means cruelty. You kill somebody. And then something more he wanted, so he gave again Suvarna. What is meant by Suvarna? Previously, land and gold were the two major signs of a man being rich. We say, Bubhukshitah kim na karoti papam. If a man is hungry, which is the sin that he does not commit if he remains hungry? And how about the wealth that you do not need or do not know how to use properly? Same thing happens. He also commits all kinds of sins. So falsehood, then mother, getting drunk with what? With one's own power, strength, money, kingship, then kama, desires. There is no end to the desires. You want this, that. There is no end, unending desires. Then vair, if you are always after getting things, naturally all these things belong to somebody else also, or somebody else would also need that, or somebody else also might be wishing to have it. So what comes into picture then? Vair, enmity. When there is vair or enmity, Rajoguna keeps on increasing. There is a tendency to get rid of the competitors. Fight, whether it is done in the righteous way or otherwise. Now, what happens is, in Satya Yuga, tapa or austerity is said to be the pradhan dharma, main dharma. In the Treta Yuga, it is supposed to be jnana. In Dwapar, it is yajna. and in Kali Yuga, Dan, donation. Now, when we are talking of these Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga, do we mean the yugas in terms of the counting of the years that have passed? In a way, yes, because they show that the majority of the people are living like this in that particular yuga. How about today? Can there be people who are from the Satya Yuga? Do we find them anywhere around us? Or if not Satya Yuga, at least the Jnanis from Treta Yuga, or those who are carrying out yajna, as in Dwapar, or even Kali Yuga, Dan, donation, giving without any expectation in return for the person who donates is Dan. Now, we say that in this Kali Yuga, who will direct us? What is Dan? What is Yajna? What is Dan? Jnana? What is Tapa? The saints are available for telling us these things. How do they say that? See, what we generally believe and experience is something that we twist or mend or bend to suit our intentions, what we want, not what the scriptures tell us. If this is the case, then we definitely need somebody who will tell us the real meaning of the scriptures. Now, who this person could be? We have to have somebody who will be in a position to tell us the real meanings of the scriptures. Perhaps you might have heard that Brahmins, a Vedic Pandit, is never to be called as a witness in any case. What could be the reason? In fact, one would think that he will be the right person to be called as witness if he has seen something, experienced something while the crime was taking place. No, the answer is straightforward no. I'll give the reason what could be the cause of it. In Mahabharata, another incident comes where a Vedic Pandit is caught stealing something. Now, whosoever that person be, if he has stolen something, he is a culprit and should be punished. Okay, he should be punished. But the fault lies with him. Here, an adjective is used here. He is a Vedic Pandit. Then the Shastra tells us, in this case, the fault lies with the king. The very fact that a Vedic Pandit had to resort to stealing shows the king has not looked after the needs of the Pandit, how he should be guarded from going in a wrong path. In the same way, this Vedic Pandit, any Vedic Pandit is not to be called as witness in the criminal or whatever cases. Now you will realize why this is the case. Because the interested parties would like to pull or push this Pandit in the direction they like, they want. What will be the result? See, the result will be if the Vedic Pandit sticks to his guns, the others will not like it, those who lose because of that. they might try to kill him. So, in order to have a safeguard for the common good of the people at large, a Brahman is supposed to be excluded from these things. It is said in the Shastras that to give Havya to the Devatas and Kavya to the Pitaras and to protect the world, Brahma Deva has produced Brahmanas. See, what is really said here? To give Havya to the Devatas and Kavya to the Pitaras and to protect the world. Brahmadev has produced Brahmana. It is this cycle of gratitude being shown to the Devas and to the Pitaras that continues the cycle of the world as we need it. We need timely rain, we need timely season, cold season, we need timely summer, their temperatures, rains, and whatever are the properties should be permanently observed. So, if that is to be maintained, then this giving Havya and Kavya is essential, which keeps the ball rolling correctly. Now, see, look here. Yajna, doing yajna is what? Ishta dharma. And to have lakes and other sources of water is Purta dharma. Both are essential. The Yajna dharma is also required to be followed, and Purta dharma of building lakes, wells, it is also required. Who will do that? King will do. The rich people will do. How about us people like us? If we are not very rich, we are not kings, then now here starts the topic which is close to us. Generally, people feel that the scriptures do not touch our daily life. Here, now the sentence is worth remembering. It is said a pativrata stri is the basic of dharma in the case of a grihastha. It is the moola. Pativrata stri is the basic foundation of the grihastha dharma. Now you can imagine it is on the basis of this foundation that the whole grihastha dharma depends. And it is on the grihastha dharma that the brahmacharya, vanaprastha and sannyas are all dependent, because grihastha feeds them all. Now, let us see who is other person who is to be looked after. I am saying person, not animal. Why? Because I have cow in my mind. We do not consider her as animal, Mata. It is a rule that a cow should not be milked every day after the delivery of the offspring. Then what is the rule? The rule is once she delivers, for 1 month, her milk is to be made available only to the offspring and nothing at all for the owners. 1 month after that, from only one breast, the milk should be taken, and that too only once in a day. Then 1 month after that, from two breasts, and then three breasts. Here it is said that Varsha, Sharad and Vasanta are the three Rutus in which you can milk a cow twice a day. In other periods, not more than once. And you will find that Chanakya says that the thumb of the person who milks her more times should be cut. This is the kind of punishment Chanakya prescribes. Now, let us go further. They say, घर का मूल है स्त्री. What is the foundation of a house or home? It is the Stri, Griha Lakshmi. And the foundation of Grihasthashrama is Anna, food. Now, how does it sound to you, considering today food can be purchased from the specialty restaurants, or they are served in the place of work, or even on the road you can buy. It is not true that everywhere the quality is the same. Quality needs to be considered not only in terms of proteins, fats, carbohydrates, and things like that, but if you see the modern science tells us, suppose I am holding my hand like this. Those of you who are experts in knowing what comes out of it will realize or feel that there is energy coming out of my fingers, what people call as auras. They are the ones who show the nature of the person who is cooking. That nature is bound to get transferred to the quality of food. It is not only तीखा कितना डाला है, नमक है या नहीं है, मीठा है कि क्या है. That is not the only point to be considered. Here, this is most important. Secondly, 80% of the energy of a person during the day is in his eyes, his or her eyes. And when a person cooks the food, they always go to the food. So, will it not transfer the energy of the cook into the food? If we don't understand this, if we say that because it is not seen by everybody, it does not exist, it is a foolish way of argument. If one can't see, we say, okay, you take specs, but with specs also, not everyone can see the aura. Then can we photograph that? Yes, to some extent. And then will you accept that it exists though you don't see it? Because what we can see is vibgyor, violet, indigo, and the like. Red is the end. The 7 rays of the sun. But how about the infrared and ultraviolet rays? Yes, they all exist, and they also are transferred this way to the food that we eat. Now here, very interestingly, what is said is like this. after having completed the morning routine, like getting rid of the yesterday's clothes, doing snan, then she should enter the kitchen and prepare food for the husband and others. When I said the morning routine, I also mean after bath, she should, for a few minutes at least, go in front of the Lord and pray, and then start the cooking process. Now, you will understand what these people are saying. If the wife goes on, which is what the chitta of the pati wants. Chitta is what? Chitta is what is stored in his mind for the hundreds of past births that he has taken, and also what he has learned in this life. If she moves in accordance with that, then the way she gets affection from the husband is something which far exceeds what she can get because of her rupa, beauty, yauvan, her young age, and abhushana, her ornaments. See, it is very, very interesting to read this. If somebody understands the mind of the other, it is a great quality. To understand the mind of the other and to act accordingly is even more difficult. But if one is expert in doing both, probably you have practically on the top of the world. This is what this Puran is saying. Normally, it is seen that those who have a beautiful look and are young, such ladies also, if act against the wishes of the husband, then they meet unfortunate incidences. And those who might be ugly in look or old in age, such ladies also, if they know how to move in accordance with the chitta of their pati, then they become extremely dear to him. And if you will realize, if they too are acting in a way that they both appreciate, then it creates an atmosphere which is conducive to the happiness of the house. The older and the younger generation living in that house also gets the peace which everyone likes. Now, secondly, what you must realize today, many a times it has been seen that ladies are doing jobs before marriage and are helping their father's family. Many a times it is seen that the family earning is not enough, and therefore these daughters earn and help. But now once they get married, what is the way they are supposed to behave? Normally speaking, for the women in all their ages, it is the house of the pati, husband, which is dearer to them. No good father expects that his daughter will help him by earning money, and the one who has this kind of an expectation is doing something which is totally out of the way of how the good people behave. Any woman who understands this kind of a sadvrutta and acts accordingly, then she becomes dear to her husband and equally dear to all their bandhu bandhava, others, brothers, sisters, and other relations. She becomes acceptable in that family. But now here again the Shastra gives a warning. Kindly remember, you may be very dear to the husband. Your behavior must be good and everyone around accepts that your behavior is good. But still, one should always be afraid of what people can say, knowingly, unknowingly, intentionally, unintentionally. People speak things which are not in favor of the woman. Whether it was Sita or some other, we have heard what had happened to them. Now, try to know one thing. People who are not gentlemen, they feel that women are the source of enjoyment. They are to be enjoyed. The women, certain women are not in a position to clearly decide what is good and what is bad. And many a times they behave in a way which is called as avinaya. Vinaya is to keep your sense organs of action into control. Avinaya is out of it. And many a times women behave that way, and therefore to judge how the women behave is very difficult. Many a times it is not possible to understand the mind of the others. Reading another person's mind is not easy, and that another person might be having different designs in the mind and acting and showing some other ways to the others. And at times women become swachhanda, that is, they go according to whims of theirs. Then there are very few women who do not get bad blocks on them. This durbhagya of the women, it is the unfortunate part of the women's life that becomes the reason for their dukkha bhoga. Nobody wants dukkha bhoga, but they have to undergo. And what is the way to counter it? If there is any countermeasure, then it is uttama charitra acharana. Uttama, the best character and its application, and to understand Loka Vyavahar in its correct way. Loka Vyavahar is something which is very difficult to understand, because you have to understand the way that particular person's behavior, what his words and actions are they in line or totally against? If a woman who has excellent character, who behaves in excellent way, if she comes in the company of bad persons, or she goes sometimes knowingly or unknowingly to a place which is not good, then she attracts the black kalanka. And understand one thing, a woman who does not allow her matru kula, the mother's kula, pitru kula, and santati, they are the ones should not get a bad name because of the woman. This is something which people have to really care for. You will realize why we refer her as the Griha Lakshmi. Now, if the Griha Lakshmi is like this, good, then Dharma, Artha, and Kama, all the three Vargas can be easily achieved. Now, if as against that, the women with bad character put their families in the narak, and those who have a good character, excellent character, whom they consider as the best ornament, those women take the men who have already fallen in the narak. They take them out. This is their strength. Now let us go a bit further. In the house of the Grihastha, there are 5 places where himsa takes place, knowingly, unknowingly, whether you intend to do it or otherwise, where we call it a place where the grains are pounded, then where the grains are powdered. Third, the place where you cook it. Fourth is the jhadu. And fifth is the place where you keep water. See, because of the himsa that takes place here, knowingly or unknowingly, intentionally or unintentionally, we have to pay for it. How the mukti from this himsa dosh is by doing Pancha Mahayajna. What are they? One is Brahma Yajna, second is Pitru Yajna, third is Daiva Yajna, fourth is Bhuta Yajna, and fifth is Atithi Yajna. Brahma Yajna is what? Adhyayana and Adhyapana of the scriptures. Pitru Yajna, Tarpan and the kind. Deva Yajna, Havan. Bhuta Yajna, Bali Vaishwadev. You must have seen people keeping little rice and dahi out of their house for the crows and other creatures. That is Bhuta Yajna. Atithi Yajna, Atithi the one who comes without an appointment is Atithi, and those who come with appointment, both are to be welcomed. Now you see, what has happened is today people feel that the kind of samsara in which we are living, things have become very difficult. In what way? I'll give you an example. About a year back, 4 persons came from municipality to my house. 4 persons together. What did they bring with them? A notice. They gave that notice to me and asked me to sign it. Since they were from municipality, I had to sign. I tried to read it. I know the local language as well as English language, but you know the municipality fellows or other government fellows write. They see to it that whatever language you know will not help you to understand what they mean. These fellows had come to tell us that the basket where the, or dustbin as we call it, is to be kept separate for the waste kachara, which is wet, and the one which is dry. They are to be kept separately. They had written, quoting some law point, that this is to give you notice for this. Nowhere it was mentioned that this is in connection with the ordinary, everyday waste paper basket or waste food basket to be kept outside, which the municipal garbage people will collect. Nowhere it was mentioned. And 4 persons had come. I simply signed it and took it. That's all. But without understanding as to what they mean. Our scriptures do not speak like that. They speak in clear words which you can understand. I had gone once to see a place where I had a small workshop, and the workshop building had some little area which is supposed to be green area according to the municipal rules. It is a big building with some 36 galas or so, everyone having a small area. And the place which I said green belt, that was supposed to be kept as green. Now, one municipal fellow came. I asked him, why have you come? He said, I have come to inspect the place. I said, okay, why are you here to inspect what? That green area. What for? Because somebody had applied for a license for having a hotel there. I was shocked. I went to his office and asked him, what is this? You have given him license also. The place does not belong to him. The municipality fellow told me, that is not our concern, to whom the place belongs. I said, that place belongs to the society. Society is the rightful owner, and society itself cannot build anything on that because it is illegal to build anything there. And that is the reason why society has kept it open. And this fellow, who is just a gunda, we are allowing him to open a hotel there. He said, that is not our problem. If he pays the money for the Shop Establishment Act, then we give him registration. Now, this is the way the government behaves. I opened today's talk by saying that this, in today's age, because Kali Yuga resides in the body of the king, these kind of things increase. So how do we face these situations? Because if you are legally bound to go on a straight path, you like to go that way and you feel that then nobody can trouble you. But things have changed, and therefore, what many people believe and many people want is that we should go and ask for the favor from the deities, whether it is Ganpati or Vishnu or Shiva or whosoever. Now, is it true? Does it have any sanction in the scriptures? Yes. In the Puranas, you will find many places where this is said. Not only the Puranas, but also the Vedas. I will now give you a few examples of what the Puranas have said. We know that every month has a Shukla Paksha and a Krishna Paksha. And in both the Pakshas, there are tithis, Pratipada, Dvitiya, Tritiya, etc. Now, the point here is that on each day, like Pratipada, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, there are different deities appointed. They are the deities to whom those days belong. And if you offer puja to them, they will give you certain things. What advantage will they give? I will just read out a few things. On Pratipada, Agni is the deity. You should offer Havan with ghee. With that, what will you get? You will get all the food grains and also unlimited riches, dhana prapti. Then Dvitiya, Brahma is the deity. If you do puja to him and do Brahman Bhojan, then you will be able to get expertise in all the branches of knowledge. Tritiya, Kuber. Kuber is the deity, Yaksharaj. If you do his puja, then what you get is Vipulam Dhanam and maximum profit in the trading. What is the Chaturthi? Chaturthi deity is Ganesh, Ganapati. If you offer puja to him, Vighna Nasha is what you get. Panchami, Nag is the deity. If you offer puja to him, then there is no Vishabhayam. You are not afraid of, you don't have to be afraid of Visha, poison. And not only that, you will get wife, children, and Lakshmi. Shashti, Kartikeya is the deity, Murugan. If you do his puja, then what do you get? You become Medhavi, intelligent. Rupa Sampanna, you look beautiful. Dirghayu, long life. And Kirti Vruddhi, you get a name also. Saptami, it is the Surya. If on that day Shukla Paksha Surya Sankarmana takes place, it is known as Mahajaya Saptami, and you get Koti Guna Phala, 1 crore times the effect. Navami, Durga. Durga will help you to go beyond this samsara. It will give you success in a fight and in the Loka Vyavahar. Then Dashami is the day of Yamaraj. If you do his puja, then you will have Roga Mukti, save yourself from Narak and Mrityu, Apamrityu you can say. Then Ekadashi Vishwe Dev. If you do their puja, then you get Santan, Dhanadhanya and Prithvi. Dvadashi, the deity is Vishnu. If you do his puja, you will always be successful, winner, and you will also be respected among the people. Trayodashi, Kamadeva. If you do his puja, then you become beautiful. You get a beautiful wife which you desire, and whatever your other desires are, they also get fulfilled. Chaturdashi, it is Sadashiva. His puja will give you samasta Ishwarya, putra, and lot of riches. Purnima Chandrama, he will give you governance over the whole samsara. Amavasya Pitar, Pitru Puja if you do on that day, there will be Praja Vruddhi. You will have children. Dhana Raksha, Ayu, Bala, Shakti, all these things you will get from the Pitaras. Now you see, is it something that could be happening? That is what comes to the mind. Who is the guarantor of this? Who has said this? The way we ask whether this is acceptable to the Food and Drugs Act, whether it is acceptable to the Shops and Establishment Act, whether it is acceptable to the government rules and regulations. Same way we have to ask here also as to who has said all this. This is what is given in the Puranas, written by Vyasadeva. Vyasaji is the avatar of Vishnu and has written 18 Puranas. Quite a voluminous work. Also the Mahabharata and Vedanta Sutra or Brahma Sutra as people call it. The greatest of the authorities. If any of the other authorities like Shankaracharya or Ramanujacharya or Madhvacharya or other acharyas give their arguments and they are acceptable or in line with what Vyasadeva says, then they are acceptable, not otherwise. So that is the kind of authority which Vyas has. And he has said this. Now, this is a way which is acceptable to the Vedic people. Can there be some other way of doing or achieving these things? Ved means people generally believe that it should be done by the Vedic Pandit and it should be in accordance with and depending on the mantras prescribed in the Vedas, whether it is Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda or Atharvaveda, all of them. But if those people for whom resorting to Vedas is not possible, they are from a class which is not allowed to say Vedic puja or do it according to Vedas, then is Lord cruel to them? No, because you see, they have been told not to resort to Vedas because they don't have time available to them from the busy life which they have to lead just to earn their living. The Shudras, those who have to work hard with their physical body and are not in a position to do theoretical studies after finishing their physical labor. Then that means they have to be given means which will be simpler. Those simpler things could be from what? They could be from different Tantra Granthas also. What is a Tantra? People feel that Tantra is what? Is something which is done by the people from the lower strata of the society. No, it is not true. Tanu Vistare and Tra, the one who saves us from the long expanse of the various upayas. They devise technique, that is Tantra, which gives us in short how to go about it to achieve what we need. And these tantras have been given to us by no lesser an authority than the Shiva and Parvati. So, and it is also not restricted only to the Shaiva Sampradaya. Vaishnavas also have it. Vaishnavas also have Vishnu Tantra and Lakshmi Tantra. Now, so we understand that depending upon the strata of the society that these people come from, their do's and don'ts will be different from the do's and don'ts of those who are better placed than them. Now, if that be the case, then what? Like say, we say that are we supposed to give bali? Yes, everybody gives bali. Those who are vegetarians, for whatever reasons, they give bali in the form of dahi and bhat. Rice, cooked rice and curds. Those who like to or who do not mind killing animals, they do that. They kill animals in the favor of the deities. Now, this is something which not many people appreciate. They also offer alcohol, liquor to their deities. That again goes against the working methods of certain class of the people. They won't like it. Yes, it is true. But then those persons who are from a different cultural background, little lower background, they have different ways of behavior in their life. God gives them ways how they can approach the Lord even by following their way of life. They can gradually go to the higher place, but that going becomes gradual and cannot be done by jumping. So they are given the methods accordingly. Now nakshatras. Nakshatras are 27 in number. They also have deities like Ashwini Nakshatra, Ashwini Kumar is the deity. If you worship them, then what happens? What you get is Dirghayu. You become Vyadhi Mukta. Bharani Nakshatra, second, Yamaraj is the deity. If you do his puja, then you get freed from Apamrutyu. See, now here these 27 nakshatras are there, and I can read out those things to you. But what I would say is, I would like to know as yet, what have you found this to be of any use or otherwise, or you want me to shed light on some other ways? Somebody would ask as to how is it that all these things became known to Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is also not one. Many Vyasas have been there. The present Vyas is known as Veda Vyas or Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas, who, as I said, has written Mahabharata, has divided Vedas or grouped the Vedas into four main groups, that is Rigved, Yajurved, Samaved and Atharvaved, and Vedanta Sutra. Now, there are Indras or Manus. Manu, at the moment, who is the Manu? Who is a Vaivasvata, Manvantara is going on at the moment. 6 Manus have already been before. Swayambhuva, Swarochisha, Uttama, Tamasa, Raivata and Chakshusha. And 7 more Manus are still to come. Arka Savarni, Brahma Savarni, Rudra Savarni, Dharma Savarni, Daksha Savarni, Raucha and Bhautya. Indras, 6 Indras have already been. Now the present Indra is known as Ojasvi. His name is Ojasvi. Those Indras who have been before, one is Vishnu Bhuk, second is Vidyuti, third is Vibhu, fourth is Prabhu, fifth is Chikhi, sixth is Manojava. The Indras to come will be Bali, Adbhuta, Tridiva, Susatvika, Kirti, Shatadhama, Divaspati. The question that comes logically in the heart of anyone, how come Vyasadeva understood this? How could he know so many kalpas have taken place? If you are fond of multiplication, you might do that and see 1 kalpa means how many years. Like our present government offering some 20 lakh crore package. These years are also in that kind of a big number. That means it is such a long span of time. Then how could Vyas understand this? The one who has been through all this will only know. Veda Vyas was born hardly 5,000-6,000 years back or so. Then how has he understood it? You see, even the Ramayana, if you see how it starts, that time Valmiki Rishi is asking Narad Muni, who has so many different qualities. He's quoting different qualities, and then Narad tells him all these qualities are with Prabhu Ramachandra, who is existing now. Then Brahma also came, and he also gave him further knowledge. But before that, what had happened was, this Valmiki Rishi had gone to the forest, and there he saw one Vyadha killing one of the birds. And that time he was grieved. Valmiki was grieved, and he recited one line. What was it? Yeah, now, you want to ask any questions, let us know. Or let me just finish this.
Yes, sir.
The Valmiki said, Ma nishad pratishtham tvamagama shashvati samaha yat krauncha mithunat ekam avadhihi kama mohitam. You have killed one of the kama mohita couple of Krauncha Pakshi. You will never get any sthairya on this earth. You will never get a good name, nothing of the kind. And then Brahmaji also came. Valmiki was wondering, his disciples were also wondering as to what is it that he has said. Then Brahma said, what he has said is the Chando Baddha Rachana, Kavya, and now with this you start writing Ramayanam. And for that Brahma transferred the knowledge to the Valmiki Rishi. This transfer of knowledge, you might have heard Vivekananda was given Shaktipat by his Guru Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. This is not to make you get the Shaktipat, but it is a transfer of knowledge that happens in the Ajna Chakra. And that is how people are given this kind of knowledge. The Rishis have received this knowledge from the Lord himself. This is the process. Okay, now we take to question answers. Please.
Yes, sir. So, participants, if you have any questions, please raise your hands or unmute yourself. Yeah. Meanwhile, you mentioned about the different pujas, and if you do some puja, then we'll get dhana or arogya.
Yes.
So nowadays, many people are not appreciate or they don't respect or they don't want to see that angle. They want to see either scientifically proved or technically proved, or which is helping the a way of living, natural living.
Yeah.
So now, how to understand the learnings or teachings from the Puranas to adopt and implement in our regular life for this modern life?
Yeah. Now, what you will realize is that from the two examples that I had quoted before of the way government works, you will realize that it is futile to break our head on the wall that government has built to protect itself from all the wrongdoings. And we are the sufferers. So if we want to clear ourselves from these wrongdoings of the others, government and others who act in collision, then people have a feeling that we will approach so and so, but if that approach is not available, then what? Then many a times what I have realized is that people have lost all hopes, and the only thing they feel is to approach the Lord. Then I have to tell them that this is what our Puranas have said. You will realize that in India, Christianity has been spreading their cult, you can say, by saying that if you offer this to such and such person, then you will get this. Like offering something to the Mary. Right in Mumbai itself, there is a big queue who offers a part of their body made of wax. If you have some problem with the legs, you offer a leg made of wax and they say it will give you relief. Now these are the ways which I have found people adopting irrespective of their religion, caste, creed and education. Because people have come to such a level that nothing is helping them. So they naturally go to the faith healers. I do not mind telling people that yes, I have never followed this. There are two ways. One, we call it Bahiryag, that is what is done with the external apparatus. And second is Antaryag, what you do inside. There you do not need anything. You don't need a fire, you don't need ghee, nothing of the kind. You and the Lord are the only two persons involved here. But there are not many who do that way. In fact, the Shastras tell us like this. There are three types of karmas. One is Nitya karma, which we are supposed to do without expecting anything in return in person. Nitya karma, like as I said, offering Havya and Kavya, Dev and the Pitar. That is to bring the cycle in order. That is something which is you are doing as a Nitya karma. Naimittika karma, Shraddha karma, what you do is Naimittika. And then Kamya karma. Kamya karma is what you want. It is your own wish. You want to benefit from it in material ways or otherwise. then that is Kamya Karma. Then who will be able to get benefit there? Those who are doing Nitya Karma and Naimittika Karma in their life, they will be benefited. And there is nothing wrong that I find here logically also. Now you tell me. Next.
Yeah, we'll take the question from Ramesh Reddy.
Sir, Dongre Saab, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
See, this now you're talking of this karmas basically to bring it into a personal life practices.
Yeah.
So maybe you could help us maybe with some more seminars so that we can adapt some of those practices which makes a person sensible to keep mental health and physical health.
By all means, yes.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It is nice. It is so much deep insights are there that these were already there in the Puranas, and most of us we do not know everything. Time we think that it's a science, without understanding our own scripts.
Yes. You
So
see,
that's why we, without knowing it, so we have discarded them and we think low of them.
yeah.
But as we know and appreciate those practices, probably we can bring those practices into our day-to-day life, sir.
Yes, that is essential. That is essential. That therefore, how do we start with it? I will tell you. It so happened with me here at my place.
Yes, sir.
Somebody known to me, who is a good singer of classical Indian music, and also sings Samaveda. He had come to my house. He sang some of the Samavedic mantras. And I tell you, we were extremely happy with them to listen to them. Very nice. But when
Yes, sir.
again to some other place, and there he had come, the effect was practically negligible. I was shocked. I asked him why there is no effect today. His guru was also there. I suggested them that why not we do Pancha Mahabhuta Shuddhi. He said that is what we generally get done from a Yajurvedi, and then we do our chanting. And that is what needs to be done. So that Pancha Mahabhuta Shuddhi has to be done in our body and outside our body. There has to be a balance, and that will give you peace. And for that, I had shown last time that when we start, let's say, the mantra chanting of Akash, hold your fingers on your nadi, on your pulse, if you like. Or if there is no time, I don't mind going further. You want to see the effect?
Yes, sir. We will see.
Okay. This is the way I'm showing. Here is the nadi. Here 3 fingers are put. You will find the pulse hitting against these 3 fingers, either first, second, or third. Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now I'll start. Hrim, Shrim, Hrim, Shrim, Hrim, Shrim. Rlu, Rlu, Nga, Ya, Na, Na, Ma, Sha, Ha, Vyoma Shakti Padukam पूजयामि तर्पयामि नमः स्वाहा ह्रीं श्रीं ह्रीं श्रीं ऋलुप् ऋलु या न म श व्योमशक्तिपादुकां पूजयामि तर्पयामि नमः स्वाहा. Now see, many of you might have realized that it reduces the amplitude, the hitting of the pulse against your fingers. Now this means the working of the heart is less, but there is no displeasure shown by the rest of the body that heart is not doing its work properly. In other words, there is harmony between the rest of the body and the heart. So this kind of establishment of harmony between the different organs of the body is essential. And this is what we need to achieve by doing Pancha Mahabhuta Shuddhi. Then you can resort to any of the Sahasranamas if you like, whether you want Lalita Sahasranam or Vishnu Sahasranam or Shiva Sahasranam, depending upon your choice. You can go through them. You will realize they are the ones who are showing the gunas of these deities. Last time also I had recited some names of the Paramba or Paratma Shakti. Now these kind of words, when you pronounce from your heart, it goes through the Sushumna to your place where the Shiva resides. He resides up. And there, if it goes, then naturally it is the ideal that what you want to achieve, the Shiva and the Shakti meeting each other. Anything you want to ask?
Yeah, no, sir. We have one more question.
Yeah.
If you're done with, we can ask. Yeah, Venkateshwarlu garu.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are.
I have two basic questions, sir. Number one is, people say, Arogyam Bhaskara Adichet.
Yeah.
In Vedas, it is said there is a very good mantra, Mahasaura mantra path. Is there anybody who can do it properly and bestow health to others? That is first question. Second one is, there are some 7 personalities who are considered to be eternal. Starting from Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, still they are available, people say. They are called Saptachiranjeevis.
Yes.
Ashwadhama, those people. Parshurama, Ashwadhama, Bali, etc. Those celestial people, is there any method of invoking and seeing those people? If we can do it, there is not, you can learn things directly from the horse mouth. They were there at that time and they are there even now. So directly knowing from them will be unadulterated. Directly from their mouth we can listen. At least, is it possible to see? Is there any procedure or method that is prescribed to do this? Has anybody done it in this Kali Yuga? That is my second question.
See, you might have heard that many people do this sadhana of Yakshini. And some of them succeed in doing that. In the same way, some people devote their life doing bhakti of Vithala, Krishna, Rama, and many of them feel that they have been beneficiary of the Rama's or Krishna's or Lalitaji's grace. Now, what is the way to know that they have been graced, and what is the way they have not been graced? I have read in a book written by one Mr. Baburao Parakhe, who was the brother-in-law of Gajanan Maharaj of Akkalkot Swami. You might have heard that Akkalkot
Yes, sir.
Gajanan
I have-
Maharaj,
yes.
who has spread this
Parashuram.
Agnihotra these days. Yeah, that he has written that Parshuram comes to these such and such temples and people have seen this and that. Yes. After all, let us put it this way. If Parshuram comes in front of us, will we remain in such a state that we will ask him questions? Is it through the words that he will explain? The first thing which I said about the Ramayana, Brahma transferred the knowledge to the Valmiki Rishi, not through words, but it goes straight from Ajna Chakra to Ajna Chakra. Because we need words because we are at a lower level. The knowledge that needs to be transferred could be voluminous, that is one thing. Secondly, it could require certain experiences in life which may be favorable or unfavorable. It is the unfavorable ones which take you closer to the Lord. If you get success, you always say that yes, I deserve it, I have definitely worked for it, and that's why I received it. But if you get failure, then you think of different ways why you have failed. And then when you realize that you have done everything from your side and still you have failed, then as I said, people need help from the deities. And that is the way the Lord will help. Anything else?
Okay, sir. But at least something, if not the main deities, some Parivara Devatas will be there. At least those people, if we can invoke and get their response, that will be very good. There is nothing like it. And instead of that one, what we are doing is go on
See,
reading.
I will tell you, I will give you a concrete example. I live in the suburb of Mumbai, where there is a Murugan temple also. And they do take out a procession once in a year, in which we see men as well as women who have passed bars, long bars through their cheeks. You must have seen them in the south also.
Some Tamil Nadu, it is there.
Yes. So they don't die because of septic and whatnot. Is it not that something, have you seen other normal persons doing it anytime? No. I have seen those people only doing it and on certain days.
Yes. Auspicious days.
Yes.
And they follow a lot
It is
of
their
rituals.
devotion. It is their devotion.
Yes.
Helps them. That devotion is something which you have to have. Others cannot give you.
That big ambition I don't have. A little bit getting health instead of roaming around specialists and all those things. If I can get good health from these deities, that is more than enough for me. I need not display a big thing or anything. Make a wish. Instead of roaming around specialists and all those things, not getting cured, if I can get health from sun god or which god, some other god, that is enough for me. These basic needs. I am not asking for any boon.
But
Basic
then
needs.
why don't you do the bhakti of Surya? He is visible to everybody every day.
Agree. But whether what I do is pleasing to him or not, how much I have to improve, what is the threshold to which he will respond, nothing is known. From my side, it is a one-way traffic. From the other side, whether he is satisfied or not, there is no way of getting any feedback.
I will
If
tell
it
you
comes,
that.
come.
I
Yes,
will tell you that.
yes, sir.
This is what you learn from a guru.
Uh-huh.
How does guru tell you whether the Sun Lord is accepting that or otherwise? See,
His caliber
see,
is more. His caliber
see,
is.
no, I will tell you, in fact, in one of our meetings, we had called one young boy by name Mihir. He is able to see what comes to you, what you offer to the Lord and what comes to you. The rays, the colors. If you see, I will show you how to judge that. You can have any fire by your side, say mombatti, candle you can use, or even if you are using gas in your house for cooking the food, that gas will also show effect of mantra chanting. The colors will change. That will be something which you can see yourself. You see, it is like this. The offering prayers to the Lord is what you are doing. Let us put it this way. You offer prayers or water to sun god. Now sun is situated far, far away from where we are. Then does it reach him or not? Our experience is it reaches him. And then he also sends something back. How to know that? It is this way. We can see their colors, the rays going there, and something coming back to us. This is what you have to experience. Suppose I will tell you it is like this. We have 5 sense organs. One is the organ of hearing. Second is the organ of touch, skin. Third is organ to see, eyes. Fourth is to taste of water or food. And then smell. I will tell you, last time also one participant from America, she had said, she had told her experience. What did she say? She had kept water near the place where she resides and near her, and the Lalita ji photograph was nearby. Now, when we offer our prayers to Lalita ji and she sends us her Ashirvachana, it alters the water or the food. The tastes are different. Now, this is a different sense organ I am telling you to use. Will you agree? You may not have the hearing faculty that dominant, but maybe you can feel, your skin can feel, or maybe your eyes can see, or maybe your tongue can know the taste difference, or you could smell. Yeah, this Ramesh.
So we have a couple of questions, and yes, the time is running. We'll take only 2 questions and we'll conclude this today's webinar.
Yeah.
And you mentioned transfer of the knowledge through Agna Chakra to Agna Chakra of other person.
Yeah.
And also that words are just a low level communication. Can you please give a little more elaboration on that, and then we will continue?
See, we have taken education in schools and colleges. There were good teachers and there were bad teachers. What were good teachers doing? Can you tell us? I know when I was a student in science college, one teacher used to teach us trigonometry. he hardly said a single word other than the solving of the trigonometry theorem or riders. And he did not look at us either. But I could understand that subject. Another lady was there who was teaching us coordinate geometry. Similar person, but I could not understand anything. Now, why this happens? She was not disinterested in teaching. She knew her subject, but this transfer of knowledge would not take place. You don't like that person or you can't benefit from that person. Now, this is something which is personal, but that is what it is. You have to find somebody with whom you are at home and you are able to receive. Yeah, what else?
Yeah. And another question is how to establish the Vedic way of life in this Yuga?
The Vedic way of life, if you want to practice, what are the difficulties? As I said, the government laws, the way society is moving, all those things are such that it really make it difficult to follow the Vedic way of life. But perhaps you might have heard of some Agnihotri people. Those who are Agnihotris have fire burning in their house all the 24 hours for all the 12 months of the year and for all the years in the life of the person. There are hardly 5 or 6 of them. One of them stays near Ahmedabad, some miles away from it. A gentleman known to me told me that on Saturday and Sunday, anytime you go, even at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning, at least 25-50 motor cars will be standing there in front of the house of this Agnihotri. That is the kind of Shakti which such people get. But then it is their devotion which takes them to such heights. If you can, yes, you follow. If you don't, then what do? Then you take the recourse to such devatas. Try to please them and get benefit. But as I said, Nitya Karma, Naimittika Karma and Kamya Karma. These are 3 different things. You must do the Nitya Karma also. Then only you are nearer to the deity. Boliye.
Yeah, next question is any books to study or refer to introduce the knowledge of this transition or the mantra chanting or further?
I would really prefer somebody in person you should go to and learn.
Okay. Yeah. With this, we got the answer for all the questions. Also, we can conclude this today's webinar.
Yeah.
And also for the participants, we have created a separate group to learn further with Dr. Dhananjay Dongreji. Who is interested, just ping me on my WhatsApp. I will add you to that group. Yeah, and we can't take no more questions because we already completed 40 minutes extra. Yeah, thank you all for joining today's webinar.
Namaskar.